Hey. Testing out my new AirPods. Hopefully they're picking up my voice okay. I used to have AirPods for a long time, but then one of them like got all crackly and it was like past the warranty, and they told me I had to pay like full price for the replacement, and this was like right around the time that I was like just about to be evicted, so I was like, no. So I bought those like $20 wired ones that I've been using in my previous videos, but they're like not the best, and they the wire gets in the way a lot, and I find myself like playing with it when I'm like talking, and I think it like causes like crackling noises when I'm recording and stuff. So I haven't tested these yet with the video, so hopefully they're coming through okay. I'm not gonna stop this, I'm just gonna kind of do the thing. Yeah, I just wanted to give an update, I guess. I don't remember the last video I did, or when it was, I mean, but as you can probably see, I'm becoming a little more comfortable wearing makeup. I've been going out like this more and more often lately. Oh, that reminds me, I have to go run an errand today before a certain place closes in a few hours. Yeah, but I'm still keeping it kind of minimal. It's really all I'm like comfortable with doing right now, you know? And I'm still trying to figure out like if I'm even doing it correctly or if it just looks like silly. I don't know. But I do blush. I think I went up too high over on this side here. It's supposed to be like on the apple part of your cheek is what I read. And I think I went a little too far in here. Like this one I think is more kind of where it's supposed to look. And then I usually bridge across too, because I like that look. I think it's really cute. And I was doing a lot on the tip of my nose too, like a little Rudolph. But then I got some feedback from someone who said that like that isn't necessary. So I'm trying out not doing that right now. And I do like a very, very, very small amount of like an eyeshadow. You might not even be able to like see it because it's so faint, because I'm still just like really kind of just starting to get used to it and feel it out. I don't want to like do too much too fast and have it like, I don't know, make me like get uncomfortable with exploring and experimenting, you know? So, because I mentioned this in previous videos, but like, you know, I do get like stares everywhere I go from people. And at best, they're just neutral stares. Like maybe they just have never seen someone like me before, and you know, and that's okay. But most of them are kind of like pretty mean and judgmental stares, and people have been kind of verbal lately again, but I have my earbuds, so I can always just, you know, ignore them. And with these ones I got, they're like the noise canceling ones, and they work really well, so hopefully like I actually won't hear people as they're like saying things about me, you know. So I can just go about living my life and hopefully not be bothered too much, or, you know. Since I'm on the topic, last night I went to Walmart, and if anyone here has been watching any of my other recent videos, then you might remember that I had kind of a really nasty experience at Walmart a while back, where some like young woman like shouted something very, very, very loudly at me, like as I walked right past her, like maybe like I was like less than 10 feet in front of her, as I was walking into the entrance, and I heard it. I mean, everyone in the whole area heard it because everyone stopped and looked. But I did have my earbuds in, so I just, pretended I didn't. Smiled and kept doing my thing. And, but yeah, so Walmart is always a fun trans venture time. That's what I call it. And last night I had two newbies, two new ones that happened. Because I went there to buy these AirPods, and I got a couple other things while I was there. And because they're expensive, you have to buy them, like pay for them at the electronics area, and then they give you the receipt, and I just like tied it in the bag, and then I kept shopping for whatever else I was looking for. And did like self-checkout, and as I was leaving, there was like an older lady checking receipts, and she seemed to be checking everyone else's receipts, and then as I came up to her, when I was maybe about 5 feet away, still kind of walking to like start handing my receipt to her, she visibly backed up like a few steps and was just like, just go, like it's fine, just go, like she was like afraid of me. And it was like, oh, okie dokie. Yeah, so that was a new one. My guess is some kind of fear implanted from some, I don't know, organized religion that's actually based upon like fear and control and that kind of stuff, Like I don't watch headlines, I don't watch news, I don't keep up with any of that stuff, only stuff that has to do with my immediate safety. But I can only imagine the things that some of the that some of the more extreme religions of the world are saying about me and people like me. So I did not blame her. I actually felt sympathy for her, like just felt sorry, like, I also felt bad, like sorry I like scared you. I would never I'm not a violent or aggressive person, My license plate that finally came in, I ordered it like a month and a half ago, and it took like so long. It finally came in the other day, but it is literally love and peace. That's what my license plate is. Like, and I'm always wearing tie-dye. I mean, come on, And so then I went out to my car, my SUV, and I was parked just with it running with the AC and stuff. And I was replying to some text messages that I was kind of like engaged in while I was waiting for the car to cool down a little bit. And then and this was kind of what I was wearing. I think like as far as makeup goes. And then I had like a similar choker, but this necklace as well. Same style kind of makeup though. And my hair was up like this, like it is. And I had, but the clothes, I was wearing like a similar style tank top, but it was like Star Wars, like has Leia on it. It says Rebel. And then I had like black pants or something, but none of that was visible to this person. They could just see like here up. And so this like middle-aged couple, I don't know, maybe in their late 40s or 50s, pulled up on the left side of like, where I was parked, so that their passenger door was like up against my driver door. And I was still just on my phone, like that. But in my peripheral, I saw the the wife get out, and I felt like she was staring at me, but I just didn't turn my head to look. And then in my peripheral, I saw her husband come up next to her, and I felt them both kind of staring at me. And then, right as I was kind of curious and turned my eye a little just for my peripheral to get more of a view, I noticed the husband doing I'm not gonna do it on the video, but the Christian kind of Father, Son, Holy Spirit thing with the hand and the forehead and the chest and all that. Yeah. And that was okay, I think I'm gonna leave here now. I'm clearly making people uncomfortable. So I will say that it didn't really hurt my feelings. Not I don't know, I didn't take it personally. It wasn't the same as what that young girl shouted at me the other week, because that was very personal, but personally against me and how I was presenting and stuff. But this was still kind of okay, it kind of just confirmed the theory that I had after the Walmart receipt person backed away like that. I was oh, she must be afraid of me because of something that she's hearing in her religion community or whatever. And then that other thing happened with the other people, which was just literally 5 to 10 minutes later. And I was okay, yeah, it seems to be going around, so I'm gonna leave. Yeah. So Walmart is always a trans venture, as I call them now. But I've decided I'm not going to change who I am. If this is how I look when I get ready for the day, and then I realize I have to run to the store and I need something, and I'm I've for years I used to not shop at Walmart, but it's right down the street and it has a bunch of stuff that is affordable and everything, and so I don't go there for everything, but some stuff it just makes sense to go there. Or I can order stuff on Amazon too, but sometimes I need stuff last minute, and I'm just crap, I have to run to the store, and so I'm gonna continue to go however I'm choosing to present that day, but I'm also not allowing it to hold me back from presenting the way that I want to present, that I feel most aligned with in that moment, that day. But I'm also not trying to do extra or be extra about it or anything in order to specifically like get attention and cause problems, or do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to just like go about it like I'm just living my life as the person that I am, as my authentic self, and being mindful of like not wanting to cause problems for people, but also like not letting the thoughts and feelings of other people that I don't even know dictate the way that I like live my life and present myself to the world, if that makes sense. So in other words, like I'm just like maintaining a healthy like balance of self-respect and communal respect, because like, you know, I don't want to cause problems for people, but I also know what what brings me joy, and like you know, what I like about the world and being able to express myself in certain ways. Self-expression has always been extremely important to me ever since I was a child, even though for the first like 30 something years of my life I was extremely repressed. But I still did my best to express those repressed feelings through the way that I presented myself. Like I went through like all goth phases when I was younger, and punk, and you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that that's what everyone that goes through those phases how they're feeling, but like for me, it was always like, you know, um, the kind of non-normative types of you know, presentation and body modification and you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's enough about about the wall. But yeah, so what else is new? I'm still working, loving my job, still weird with some people. I've just gotten over it, like whatever. I'm kind of being excluded in some weird ways by everyone on my team other than 2 people. So how many are on my team? So like 14 or 15 people are just like excluding me purposefully. Like it's like undeniable at this point, but I'm just like, whatever, you know. I'd like to think it's not because like of like my like gender and identity expression, because they don't even know the full, you know. Like I think I mentioned, but like on my first day back with this job, because I had this job for 5 years, and then lost it in the beginning of last year, and then just rejoined it like a month and a half ago. And on my first day back, my manager had sent a welcome email, like a welcome back email to the whole team, and everyone had replied like, "Oh, welcome back," using my like full legal name. And so when I finally replied all, later on in the day to say thanks and everything, I did just quickly, briefly mention that, like, you know, by the way, I go by D now, and my pronouns are they, them. And I said, like, you know, it's totally fine if it takes a little while to catch on. Like, I understand, you know, like, you know, slip ups happen and stuff, and that was it. I didn't make it a big deal. I just like very casually mentioned it. And it definitely was not like the kind of focus of my reply. My reply was focused around like my excitement to be back and my gratitude to rejoin the team, and how much I enjoy working with everyone individually and being a part of the mission of the company, and you know, that kind of stuff. And so far, the people that I work with the most regularly have been totally respectful toward that, including my manager, which is really nice. Um, I wasn't really too concerned about that, but it is nice. He does slip up every now and then, and use my full name, but that's okay. I know he's not doing it on purpose. It's not malicious or anything. And I mean, like, we worked together for 5 years, and he knew me by that name. So, um, you know, like I said, there's going to be there's going to be an adjustment period, and that's okay. There's a difference between the little slip ups like that and the more malicious is kind of a heavy word, but like, there have been one or two people I can think of that I'm working with who seem to specifically be choosing to, like, actively ignore what I mentioned in the email, and even me politely and gently reminding them after they have, quotes, slipped up once or twice. And not like publicly shaming them or anything, but just like quietly reaching out on the side, like, hey, by the way, just wanted to remind you that I do go by this name now, and these are my pronouns. I would appreciate it if you could, remember that. And just getting like a thumbs up as a reply, and that's it. And then they just do the same thing again like 2 or 3 days later. It's like, okay. So I'm not making waves, but I am smart about it, and I mean, I am documenting stuff, like, just in case it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, like, something has to be done. Not that I would ever want to do that, but because I've heard horror stories where that, like, backfires on people like me. But I'm hoping it just, like, kind of chills out, I'm yeah, it's strange too, because everyone on the team that I work with, like, none of us, we never get into the specifics of politics or anything, but for the 5 years that I worked there previously, there was always an agreement, because, like, high level discussion of just like headlines of political stuff and this and that would come up, and everyone was always in agreement on kind of on the side of the political spectrum that we were all on, which, I'm not going to say it, but you can kind of guess based off of the person that I am. And so I don't think it's anything like that, unless some people had, like, crazy, like, changes in values or something over the last year and a half that I was gone. But maybe it is just genuinely they just, like, don't think about it, and they just forget, and they just don't care enough to remember. And I mean, that I'm not gonna take that personally, but, like, eventually it'll get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be as friendly when I'm reminding you, So, and that's all. But other than all of that, it's been going great. I love the job. I love the work. It feels like my whole attitude about it is just so different now too. Like, because I always loved it before, but, like, looking back, like, I totally, like, I don't know, like, I totally, like, took advantage of, like, the flexibility of the job. And, like, I was proud of being a part of the team and the mission of the company and everything like that. Supporting, the doctors and the nurses of the world that are saving lives, or at least doing their best to save lives. But since losing it the way that I did, and going so long without it, and grieving it, and then letting it go, and then it coming back, there's just, I have this like renewed sense of like extreme gratitude for it. And with every single thing that I do, you know, um, every part of my day, every little task, every like little part of every process that used to like, I used to get annoyed, like, ugh, why don't they just streamline this instead of making me have to click this and click this and click this? Like, I don't ever feel that ever anymore. I'm just so happy to be back at the job. That I'm just like, da, 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 click, 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 you know, like, I don't mind. Um, and I'm even like figuring out ways to automate a lot of the stuff that I always used to want to automate, but never really had a chance to. And this time, from like day 2, I think, I put a request in to get additional permissions that I just like never thought of asking for the last time I worked there, because I didn't think that they were going to allow me to have them, and they gave them to me. So now I like can modify the instance of like the CRM and ticketing tool that we use to like automate a bunch of my tasks. And it's just awesome. Like, it's fun, you know? So again, job's going real well. Super grateful. I'm not going to say much about this part, but since it's something that I've talked about a bit in some of my past videos, I think the title that I had for it on my last video was The Quest for Oxytocin. That did lead somewhere. I have met someone, and there was an instant connection. And then not too long after, there was some miscommunication, and on both ends, and it caused some immense feelings of sadness on my side, because I thought that you know, I thought that it was not something that was going to have a chance at continuing. But thankfully, this person and we just took a little space and reevaluated, and had very thorough discussions around expectations and boundaries, and kind of what our individual and collective goals are from being in each other's lives. And it is it's something that, as of now, is bringing positivity into my life. Healthy positivity. And it's already taught me some valuable lessons, and I've already learned so much in just a short amount of time. But it's going to, assuming that it continues, it's going to allow me to grow a lot. And like I can tell. And I am finally starting to see my old therapist again in 2 days, who I had to stop seeing back in January, just a few days before I was evicted, or right after I was evicted, because she had left the practice where I was going, and at the time I had state health insurance, and they didn't work with the place that she went to. And she was the first and only therapist I've ever had in my life where I truly felt like seen and understood and safe to be able to be honest and open about things that I had never felt comfortable being honest and open with anyone else before. So there was a lot of grief involved when, that happened way back. And now that I'm back with my old job and I have private health insurance, thankfully it's good health insurance, I am able to go see her. So our first session is in 2 days, and there's going to be a lot of catching up, obviously. It'll probably take a few sessions to fully get caught up on everything that has happened in my life since the last time that we saw each other. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because it ties directly into the person that I recently met in my life, because I will now have access to my therapist, where I can work through anything that comes up for me while having this new person in my life. Anything that comes up that I'm not sure what to do with it, or how to process it correctly, or what it is, or if it's, if there are ways to continue that will still remain healthy for me, or if, maybe taking a step back is needed, or adjusting, the context of the relationship, or boundaries, or anything like that. So, and so that's kind of what I mean too by like, this is going to be a nice opportunity for me to grow, because I'm going to have solid support that I trust, while experiencing something that is new to me, in the sense of the way that this, the dynamic of this relationship with this person in my life, how it works. We're kind of figuring it out together as we go, but also individually. So, but to summarize all of that, my quest for oxytocin has worked. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but the quest was successful. And as of now, I do have a trusted, safe source of mutual affection and oxytocin in a way that my nervous system has so desperately been longing for a very, very, very long time. Yeah. And I'll just leave that at that. I think that's a pretty good place to stop this video. Yeah. But I'm happy. And which I don't think I've ever said that on any of these videos before. Oh wow. Yeah, and just super grateful for the things in my life right now, the way that my life is going. I still, I'm still dealing with all kinds of health issues, and I'm on a plethora of different medications and treatments and therapies, and there's plenty more that I am going to be looking into soon as well. But overall, things are going very well. I have a roof over my head that feels like home, at least somewhat, which is like incredible, because after I lost my last home and I ended up homeless, it when you're in that state for long enough, it can start to feel like it's impossible to imagine ever having that feeling of safety back and stability. And it has not been easy, and it's taken a lot of effort, but I have, I guess, done the work and gotten myself to a place where I am financially stable. I have housing that's comfortable and I feel safe in and private, and I am employed somewhere that gives my life meaning and I am fulfilled by. I'm finding my sense of confidence just in myself, with who I am, and with expressing myself the way that I want to express myself, and not allowing the interactions of others, regardless of how hurtful they may be, to stop me from being myself. And I get to start seeing my therapist again. And I have someone in my life now that makes me not feel so alone. And yeah. And I'm happy that I stayed. I'm very happy that I stayed. I'm also fully aware that these things and all of these things I just mentioned and these feelings are not permanent, and there will be times again in my life where I may not have access to some or possibly even all of these things again. And instead of focusing on that potential or inevitable future loss at some point and being stuck in those feelings of like anticipatory grief, I am instead using that knowledge, that wisdom, I guess, to stay present and thoroughly appreciate and enjoy what's in my life while it's here. Which is not an easy thing to do. And it's taken me a very long time to learn that. Yeah. I guess that's it. So, yeah. To my friends and my family who reach out to me and keep up with me and encourage me and support me and love me. Thank you so much, and I love you all. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, so thank you. And to anyone else watching who maybe doesn't know me or wants to get to know me, or is just randomly clicking through videos because they're bored, and this is playing in the background while they're like making dinner or something. Thanks for taking the time to hear about a random person's life and their day. More than their day, but oh, and of course, and to the future version of me that might be watching this someday, far in the future, who knows under what circumstances, regardless of what the circumstances are at the time. Hopefully they're good, but even if they're not, remember what it felt like right now in this moment, because even if you're not feeling that right now, it can be found again. I promise. Okay, that's enough. Thanks everyone, and I love you all.